Didn't matter if you was black, didn't matter if you were white, if you were Hispanic, if you were short, tall, muscle, fat.
I find it hard to believe, first of all, that he intentionally meant to kill George Floyd.
So how should the leagues support and promote an anti-racism position?
I mean, I don't know what led to that video that we saw where his knee is on his neck.
I'm kind of old school. I think, you play, you get paid a ton of money to do a certain job, and just do it and let the chips fall where they may. I think we make too much money to voice an opinion.
I'm the furthest thing from a racist. I think I'm a pretty good guy.
There are text messages from one of the state's most famous sons that allegedly have him caught up deep in the scandal.
Mississippi, it's a nice place to live.
NFL Hall of Famer Brett Favre is facing questions tonight of whether he knowingly took $5 million of state welfare money to build a new volleyball facility for his daughter's team 5 years ago at her university and his alma mater.
I can only imagine some of the things people, are going through.
Brett Favre asked the head of a nonprofit handling welfare funds, quote, "If you were to pay me, is there any way that the media could find out where it came from and how much?"
These politicians serve 2 years, some serve more. Regardless of how long you serve, you get paid a huge amount of money.
And $5 million to build this women's volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi. That building with ties to an NFL Hall of Famer. Brett Favre's daughter played volleyball at the university. Text messages obtained by Mississippi Today show Favre saying he helped secure government grant money for a new arena. And he personally was paid more than $1 million to give 3 motivational speeches that never happened.
It gets real tricky and scary.
Mississippi's son, Brett Favre, is accused of knowingly taking funds that are supposed to go to the most needy in his state and putting them into infrastructure at his alma mater. This is a story we have covered extensively since it first broke years back. Now, Favre, in a pure Trumpian move, is set to follow the former president's blueprint.
Why won't he release his tax returns?
In a story that broke via Front Office Sports, Favre refuses to turn over his tax returns or much else. And lawyers for the Mississippi Department of Human Services again requested a judge compel the Hall of Famer to comply with the subpoena issued in the civil case.
Brett Favre got this money from 2 nonprofits. The founder of the nonprofits has since been indicted as part of the largest embezzlement scheme in Mississippi history. State officials say the money Favre got should actually have gone to needy families in the Magnolia State.
A.J. Perez wrote, "The subpoenas seek texts and emails Favre exchanged with others who were part of an alleged scheme, including those indicted on state and federal charges that led to millions of misappropriated welfare funds."
There is some good that comes out of bad if you're a good, faithful person.
Favre has denied knowing that the money came from welfare funds, and though he is a target in the civil lawsuit, he is not among those who have been indicted by state or federal prosecutors in the welfare scandal.
We've seen a ton of welfare money that's intended for the poorest folks here in the state of Mississippi flowing to people who just simply did not need it.
Ashton Pittman of the Mississippi Free Press, who has done great work covering this story at the local level, wrote in his piece, "The lawyers representing the former Hall of Famer objected to their request of recordings and/or data concerning the subject matter, saying it was overly broad, unduly burdensome, and irrelevant."
The state of Mississippi is now suing Brett Favre and nearly 4 dozen others to recover tens of millions of dollars in welfare funds it says was misspent.
MDHS's lawyers wrote, "Favre's response does not make sense in light of his text message, and he offers no explanation. Favre's response is unclear on whether he is claiming he based his representation to Governor Bryant on someone else's calculation, or denying he sent the text message, or taking issue with some way that the request is worded." MDHS also highlighted Favre's lack of responses regarding Prevacus, a pharmaceutical company that received $1.7 million in TANF funds. Favre was the biggest investor in Prevacus, which developed 2 concussion-related products that never made it to market. And with Prevacus, there were 2 different products. But the thing is, throughout that entire process, what Favre & Co. did was essentially sell it to the public. They appeared on Fox Business. They appeared on, I believe it was the Megyn Kelly show, with investors, former pro athletes, that were saying this could be a breakthrough for concussions. One of the products is a cream that would be rubbed on the trachea. There was another product as well, never made it to market. They also had Terry Bradshaw, I believe, in one of these promos. Never made it to market. Look, this story is going to be heating up because it does appear that Brett Favre, their lawyers are putting it off, but at some point is going to have to potentially testify. And we'll keep you posted when that happens. Stay tuned.